This week's episode is brought to you by 318 Now Podcast. 318 Now Podcast focuses on the 318 community, where community leaders, entrepreneurs, and influential figures from the 318 area are brought on as guests each week. 318 Now Podcast motivates, informs, consults, and entertains its audience. Episodes are released every Tuesday evening, where they can be downloaded by visiting the 318 Now Podcast Facebook page or on iTunes. Like the 318 Now Podcast Facebook page for episode previews and releases.
I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Playmakers that is brought to you in part by the Just Run the Play company and also those great people over at Riverport Creative Group. Today we have an illustrious, and wonderful, we have some, look, I'm excited about today, that's all I'm going to say, because the guests that we have today are some beautiful young ladies. They're doing a lot of things in our community, and for those of you who already know, our show highlight people who are doing great things in the community and are really working hard to see our communities grow and prosper. Today not only do I have the executive director of the Miss Monroe Pageant, Gaundhi Hayes. I have her with us today. And I also have Miss Monroe Christina Gray. I want y'all to welcome them today. How y'all ladies doing?
We're wonderful. How are you?
Hey, it's good to have y'all here. First, let's find out exactly what Gaundhi, we go back, we got a lot of stuff we worked on together, fashion shows, a lot of stuff in the community. And so you have several different titles. But the title that you have that we're going to talk about is being the executive director over the Miss Monroe Pageant. Now, how long have you had this position? And tell us a little bit about how you got involved in it.
Actually, when we started Miss Monroe back in 2009, I was actually on the board.
Okay.
And Robert Wright was the executive director. So then when he resigned, about 3 years later, then I took over. So this is, I think, my 5th or 6th year.
Well, you learn something new every day, because I had no idea that Robert Wright was involved in that form of thing.
Yeah, so he was the executive director. I was the coordinator of the pageant, of course. And then, like I said, when he resigned and wanted to do other things, then I took over.
You took over. Well, now, I do know that you have history in pageantry, and you've done a lot of things you've done in that particular capacity. So you really just fell right into place in what you were doing. Am I right?
Yes, I have 36 years in pageant experience.
36 years? You're not even, how you get 6 bonus years?
But I started doing pageants when I was 5. And so I kept on, and as time progressed, I actually won a national title. And when they told me they were going to start the Miss Monroe Pageant back, I decided that I wanted to be involved, and Robert asked me to be part of the board.
Okay. And so now in your capacity now, what do you feel, why is it important now to really push the pageant and the things we're doing here for the Miss Monroe Pageant, the importance of it right now in the time we're living in now?
First of all, the first and foremost, the most important thing is scholarship money for the young ladies.
Okay.
The Miss Louisiana organization is giving away over $62,000 in scholarships and prizes.
Oh, man, that is important.
Right.
Education is always important.
And especially with tops being iffy, this is another avenue for the girls to take, and they can have fun while doing so.
Now, and I know over the past 5 years, you built some wonderful relationships with these young ladies. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have Miss Christina Gray with us. Tell us, Christina, your role in this, and what made you decide that you wanted to pursue something such as Miss Monroe?
Okay, well, initially, while I was in college, I was playing basketball. And most of the time, as an athlete, people see us only for athletics.
Right.
And they think that that's all that we can do. And I wanted to prove to not only myself, but to other women out there who are afraid to try and branch out and do new things, that you can be whatever you put your mind to. That I can be a beauty queen and an athlete at the same time.
Yeah, 2 for 1, right?
Yes.
Now, you've mentioned basketball, and so you're currently still active. I'm assuming you still do pickup games, or
yes.
what do you do now as far as your athletics?
Well, a lot of times I'll go back and play with my old college team. Sometimes they need what's called scout team players. So I'll get to play with them and help to develop younger players as well. But sometimes I'll play in the gym, and I have a couple of kids that I mentor too back at home. And a lot of times I'll teach them the game of basketball, but also more so what you gain from playing basketball.
Okay. Now, your platform or the things that you're wanting to accomplish, because one, I understand, you have an opportunity to expose some of the things that are close to your heart and that are endearing to you. Tell us a little bit about some of the things you want to accomplish for 2016 or some of the things you want to bring light to as you currently hold this position.
Okay, well, my platform is We Matter, empowering humanity with love and with leadership. And what I want to do with that is really inspire others to give back, be servant leaders, and also people out there who may be too afraid, like I said earlier, to follow their dreams, to show them that, hey, you can do it. I did it. This was something that I never imagined in a million years I would be doing, and I was able to accomplish it. And I hope they'd see that through me.
Now, if you have, let's say if you have a young lady who has maybe watching right now that is interested, Gaundhi, I mean, you can add on to this as well, that may be interested in getting involved in pageantry. How would they be able to get in contact with you two, maybe just for questions or even a little guidance or a little leadership? I'm assuming social media. Just give us some of that information if you don't mind.
Okay, well, I'm on Facebook and I'm also on Instagram. On Facebook under Miss Monroe 2016 or Christina Gray, you can find me there. Instagram, you can find me under Chrissy32 on Instagram. But any type of social media, just send me an inbox message if you're interested and contact Miss Gaundhi.
Yeah, what about you? Tell us a little bit about
on Facebook, Gaundhi Hayes, Instagram, just Gaundhi. But most importantly, we also, with the Miss Louisiana organization, we have a Fleur de Lis program as well. And that's for little girls ages 5 to 10. We're actually looking for Fleur de Lis princesses. We have state meeting on April the 9th. And if they're interested, they can go to the Miss Louisiana website and they can click under the Fleur de Lis program and they can fill out the information and bring their entry fee. And it's a wonderful program because the girls get to interact with the Miss Louisiana contestants. They get to do a production number. They get to be on TV.
They get the full
they get their own party. The contestants in the Fleur de Lis have a party during Miss Louisiana week. So our current Miss Monroe's outstanding team was actually a Miss Monroe Fleur de Lis princess.
Oh, so she's been brought up sort of through.
She's been involved since she was 9. And so she actually got to be Miss Louisiana Hope Anderson's Fleur de Lis as well. So she came back when she was, became a teenager and competed, and now she's our.
So there's definitely a long-term connection to the different programs.
She hopes to be Miss Monroe as well one day.
Well, you hear it. If anybody's interested in the Fleur de Lis program, definitely make sure you get in contact with these two young ladies, and they'll give you the right direction and information you need. Now, Christina, one of the things that a lot of people are aware that watch our show, they know that, with me being a coach and we always talking about running the play and, we push, some form of athleticism and how life and sports sort of work together. Now, you being a former basketball player and even, like to say, currently involved in athletics to this day, we talk about being coachable. One of the things in my book, we talk about the importance of being coachable and how it relates to being successful. Tell us how is being coachable, even just in the pageant world or even just in your athletic realm. How has that been successful, or how has it been important to you?
Being coachable is everything, and it goes beyond just the court.
Right.
I work 2 jobs currently right now, and so which means I have bosses. And just the same things that you go through while you're listening to your coach, you listen to your boss.
Right.
And it teaches you a lot about integrity, heart, passion, how to be a hard worker and be persistent. So that right there, those are qualities that I've brought into the workforce right now, and it's helping me tremendously.
Oh, and that's real good to know because of, like, a lot of people that are watching are looking, for just that 1 or 2 different, advice or something that they get. As we're getting ready to close, and I want to give you an opportunity to close us out. For the young ladies that are watching right now, what would be that one thing you would want them to know when it comes to reaching their goals and dreams, or just looking toward their accomplishments? What would be that one thing you would want them to know as they're striving to be the best that they can be?
Whatever it is that you want to be in life, go for it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't accomplish your dreams or that your dream is too big. Just go for it, because you'll never know if you never try.
You heard it here on Playmakers. Brought to you by Just Run the Play. I want to thank these young ladies again, Miss Gaundhi, Miss Christina, for joining us on today's episode. For more information about how you can be a part of what we do, join us at justruntheplay.com, or you can get with us on social media at Just Run the Play. I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you.
This week's episode is brought to you by 318 Now Podcast. 318 Now Podcast focuses on the 318 community, where community leaders, entrepreneurs, and influential figures from the 318 area are brought on as guests each week. 318 Now Podcast motivates, informs, consults, and entertains its audience. Episodes are released every Tuesday evening, where they can be downloaded by visiting the 318 Now Podcast Facebook page or on iTunes. Like the 318 Now Podcast Facebook page for episode previews and releases.